So, Mark, did you see that video of Gordon Ramsay making a burger at Gordon Ramsay Burger, the new location at Flamingo? They have this beautiful new patio, and he still told us to F off.
It's good to see him actually show up to one of his 27 Vegas restaurants. So I was kind of impressed.
Yeah, when was the last time he was seen in any of his venues in Vegas?
Probably the last time something else opened, but no, the patio looks pretty cool. Looks like a good spot and definitely an improvement for Flamingo. So I think it's a good fit. But yeah, be around more. I don't really have anything funny for this one. I wish we would have done the video of the guy breaking the slot machine. That would have been easier.
It would have been, but it's YouTube. So we have big news, breaking news to cover to start the show, and that is that the strike at Virgin appears to be over. Las Vegas locally is saying it's all because AVN is coming to town, and so the pressure was on, and that Virgin threatened to sort of back away from the union, just go non-union completely. I don't know how that would have worked, but they all figured it out, and here's the details of what exactly they're doing. They have retroactive wage increases going back to 2023 and 2024, and then increases going forward to 25, 6, and 7. Other benefits as well, like if a property closes for a renovation or something, you get the loyalty bonus, you get the choices. That's something they negotiated in with all the other casinos as well. Better health perks, they get to keep their pension. So good news for Virgin. They get to move on, and the employees seem to be happy as well.
Yeah, it's good news for everybody, including, people coming to Vegas and staying at Virgin, that they don't have to deal with the eyesore out on the street or get yelled at when they're driving by and all that stuff. So I think this is, good to move on, move past it. I'm surprised that they can retroactively pay all this stuff. That's probably going to be a big bill. And we know Virgin hasn't been like the strongest financially with being busy or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. And then the big question is, how many people get cut from this? If the cost is going up $9 over the next few years per hour, that means we're going to lose some service. Maybe they're going to bring in some more robot type things or less bartenders and have the machines make the drinks, less people walking around the floor to give out the drinks. So does it affect our experience as customers more, or do they work their way through it? We'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, prices are going to go up for sure. That's happened at all the other casinos after they negotiated stuff, and they've talked about it in their earnings calls and everything like that. But who knew it just took AVN to get this whole thing finished?
I mean, that's some prime time. I know we talk about EDC and people watching, but AVN, the people that come for that, it's pretty wild.
What's also wild, World of Concrete is in town. It's the cool construction convention. And they did this drone show over the Sphere using the visuals of the Sphere plus the drone. We have a new coolest show in town.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And I love that they, incorporated cranes. We made fun of how Vegas loves their cranes a couple episodes ago and how they like to leave them up forever. So that was kind of, I started laughing when I saw that.
It's actually a really neat conference. I had the opportunity to go a couple of years ago, and all this heavy construction equipment. I don't know. I really enjoyed walking around the floor, and DeWalt's, they killed it. We need more of these shows. All we need to do, add some fireworks, and we're perfect. Sphere plus drones plus fireworks equals heaven.
That would be cool. I don't know where you go up from there, but one thing I've, always wanted to do in Vegas, but never done is where you go on the heavy machinery and like dig holes out in the desert and stuff. I think that would be so cool. I don't even know if they still do it. I assume they do, but that was always something I wanted to do, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, they used to have that place over where Area 15 is now, and that replaced the old Scandia and stuff. They had that place where you could rent a bulldozer and dig dirt. Cool stuff. They should bring it back. So moving on, one of the goals of LVCVA has been to have 2 big events a year. Obviously, they have F1. We'll see how that goes forward. But in the beginning part of the year, last year, we had the Super Bowl, and they're working towards having everything else. WrestleMania is for this year. And then they just added the national championship for college football for 2027. They have the Final Four for 2028. So they're doing their job there. It looks good. We've criticized the LVCVA a lot on this channel, and getting the national championship is an amazing score.
Yeah, I was hoping that the date would be earlier. I felt like this year's national championship just didn't have any juice or excitement. Nobody's really talking about it. It just seemed like, hey, oh yeah, it's Monday. I guess it's on. Because NFL playoffs kicked off, it was earlier before. I know they play more games with the playoff the way it's set up now. Hopefully they figure that out, started it a bit sooner, all that stuff. It just seemed like there wasn't quite the excitement that there has been in the past, and everybody was kind of fatigued on it. So when I saw that day, I was like, oh man, maybe that's contract and there's nothing they can do for a couple years, but it's cool to see it in Vegas. I think people will enjoy that. That's where they get to go for it. It'll definitely sell out and have a ton of people in town.
It's kind of cool, this strategy of having a big event early in the year, and hopefully 2029 would be the Super Bowl again. That would be the hope, since they said we're in the rotation. But yeah, big events. And what will they replace F1 with? That's the big question, because still don't think it's going past next year.
Maybe they'll just move it out into the desert like everybody wants, and then they can keep it.
Mark is dying on that hill. So good news with the Vegas Loop. They just opened the Westgate station. It appeared to be done for months and months and months. And the Encore station's still not done, but should be done soon. They're digging the tunnels down near Virgin, down Paradise, and all of that. They may start a new tunnel along Tropicana towards Allegiant Stadium from that tunnel. So that's moving along. But what was interesting in this Review Journal article I saw is that they're now up to 104 stations planned. It's so funny. We should go back through all of our coverage over the years. It was like in the 40s. I remember 69 at one point. And I think on the last show I said like 90, and I thought I had said too many, but it's 104.
And the rates are what? $350 one-time ride, $5 daily?
$375 for a one-time ride, $5 daily. The only stations open now are Resorts World and Westgate. If you are attending a convention, you can go within the LVCV.
Ooh, well worth it. Great.
If you're attending a convention, Mark, calm down. If you're attending a convention, the LVCC loop within the convention center is free.
Oh,
and then but you could essentially ride from Westgate to Resorts World. This is amazing stuff.
Two places that nobody has ever wanted to go from one to the other. Perfect. I mean, what a good deal.
The good news is they are building that tunnel all the way near Virgin and all the way down. So when they start opening those stations, which are deep under construction, we'll start to see some distance from the convention center. But the next one to come online will be Encore, which is very much the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least that would be useful. I think people going from Resorts World to Encore and stuff like it's just Westgate and Resorts World are like the two places that people are least excited about maybe on these stops. I don't know, but it does help with the convention when it's open, but still. It just doesn't seem like there's much use for it yet.
So Jacob, Life in Vegas, he shared this video of Sahara, and I'm guessing it's for a convention or something, but they rented out their front entrance for a convention space or for, a banquet or something like that. They did a lot of renovations. We talked about that just on that outside space, made it beautiful, a lot of lighting. It's actually an amazing space for this at night. Great idea. I just thought it was worth sharing because I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it definitely looks cool. I just wonder, people walking in to go to the casino, how do they redirect them and stuff and traffic and everything? I think it looks phenomenal. It definitely would be a fun space to be. I wouldn't even have considered it. So kudos to them for coming up with it and trying something different. Just the logistics of it. How does it play out? But I would definitely like to hang out there.
It's sort of a dead area too, because the main entrance with the lobby and everything is in the backside of the property. So not a lot of people use that, for a driveway anymore. So yeah, it's great for that and good to see that. As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show. A lot of fun behind the channel. You get access to our weekly after show plus all of our back content as well. We do an after show every week. You get all of it. $5 a month, patreon.com/MTM Vegas. And thanks to everybody who supports us over there. So there's some sadness over the Mirage. We've talked about everything, but Chris Holmes, 710 suited, he flew his drone over there and gave us some amazing views of the sadness that is there, plus some pictures that show the guitar tower foundation being made. So progress being made, sad, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a couple pictures of this already, but this is definitely a little bit more in depth, a little more detailed with flying over it, and sad to see all the glass taken out, and it just looks like, desolate, like it's abandoned and been sitting there for a decade or something like that. So it's kind of crazy to see it in that way. And we've talked about how close the guitar is going to be up to the boulevard and everything. And then you see the foundation, you're like, oh yeah, that is like super close. So it's kind of good to see that in real life and just witness how towering it's going to be and how much it's going to take up the strip.
I just want to take a second to say how good the content 710 suited Chris Holmes has been putting out. A lot of drone shots around town. You should follow him and check all that out, the studio stuff. He even posted today what the new Jose Canseco car wash, they replaced it with a new gas station. And he did drone shots of both the old Jose Canseco and the new one. He's doing great stuff. So please follow him.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Jose. Car wash, at least.
So we also have this follow up on the Boulevard. That's that big mall on the south area of the Strip. There's some exciting developments there. It is opening. Tenants are moving in. I know Puma already opened, and there's a lot more. They announced some new tenants. They also announced this really cool observation space on the second floor where you're going to be able to sit there for free and look out over the Strip. we've seen these kinds of things in other cities, but Vegas doesn't have anything like that. And I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, I think the top level looks really cool. I mean, there's so much space up there when they're walking around. I'm sure they're going to add little shops and stands and pop-ups and all that stuff, but you just don't see that type of wide open space on the strip anymore. So it's cool that they built that in. And I know, some of it's going to be cannibalized, but even better that they have this seating area and there's a lounge and everything to hang out in and just take in the strip, which is unique. And it's sad that we didn't have anything like this before, but I'm glad we have it now, or will.
Yeah, and they also announced some new tenants: Lululemon, Abercrombie and Fitch, JD Sports, Pandora. Remember, they also had H&M, like I said. In-N-Out was announced for the restaurants, but they said they're going to have 10 to 12 restaurants, and they're still working on all the leases. But as far as retailers, they only have one 10,000 square foot space left. What I thought was also interesting is they're marketing it as the largest standalone shopping center on the strip, obviously not attached to a casino or another property.
I mean, whatever you got to do to promote it, I guess.
Some other big news this week: MGM Grand announced massive renovations to their main tower. Remember, a couple of years ago, they renovated their studio tower. Longtime Vegas fans know the studio tower is the old marina that they incorporated into MGM Grand when they built it in 1993. And they have that Red Rock sort of vibe that Mark likes to make fun of. So a very distinct look, but that was just a couple of years ago. Now the main tower is getting a huge renovation inspired by the disco era. And just comparing the old to the new, what an improvement.
Yeah, they must have been listening to us, because I've thrown shade towards MGM and how they don't put the money into it like they should as far as the rooms or the casino. It just doesn't feel special. And for it being the name of the company or the marquee brand, you think it would be the best in Vegas, or at least they would try to make it one of the best. And it really hasn't been that in a while. So good to see this. We talk about how they don't use color or anything. And then you see the old picture of all the color just like all over the place and randomness to it. And then it's so much more clean and sleek and maybe not as personable or as exciting, but I think it does look a lot better.
These rooms are going to be bookable from March 1st of 2025, and they say they're going to finish the renovations by the end of 2025. So really cool that that's going to happen quick. And they're also focusing on some of the new venues that they're bringing in, the Friends Experience, Netflix Bites, all of that sort of stuff. And one interesting thing, they're reconfiguring rooms because they said they're going to add 111 suites to the main tower, bringing their total suite count up to 753. That's insane. I mean, there's many hotels. Most hotels are not 753 rooms, and the suites range from 675 up to 2572 square feet, but over 700 suites when this is all done.
Yeah, I mean, it is a massive property, but it's still crazy to think that there's that many suites in one hotel.
It seems like they're going to be taking regular rooms offline, right, and reconfiguring things. So probably bringing their room count down. They have so many rooms. This is probably smart, kind of increase revenue. And certainly they're getting ready for the future. They say that of all the developments happening on the South Las Vegas Boulevard, which would mainly be the A's Stadium.
Get ready for all the videos of them banging on walls and stuff while people are trying to sleep.
Yep, that's the Vegas renovation experience. Did I ever tell you the story about my stay at Monte Carlo as they were transitioning to Park MGM? I got a room, I went to sleep, I woke up, and there was no carpet in the hallways or anywhere on the entire floor, construction crews everywhere, and there was no banging or anything, but they had just removed all the carpet.
Nothing like walking over carpet glue, to set off the day on the right note.
But yeah, that's... who does that? Why would you put me on that floor? I don't get it, but, I have a story to tell. That's what life's about, right? Stories to tell.
I miss Monte Carlo.
And our big story of this week, actually, there were so many big stories on this show, but Circus Circus is for sale. Phil Ruffin says, I love this Forbes article that talks and says Phil Ruffin is subject to exaggerating things because there's a lot of exaggeration here in what he thinks, but he owns 102 acres, including the festival grounds and Circus Circus. And he says it's for sale. There's people interested. He says it's worth $5 billion.
No, but you definitely have the land, and that area is probably increased in value quite a bit since when he bought it. And he was smart to grab the fairgrounds and all of that. And the areas popped up. We're seeing continued growth and investment up that way, at least proposed things. So I think it'll just continue to increase in value. It's just that number is pretty crazy. And I love how he's like, we have $2 beers, $2 popcorn, $2 hot dogs, people are coming in here spending money, $6 a pop, and eating and drinking and being merry. I'm like, I've never seen it like out the door busy.
Yeah, but they're, it's lots of fun. That would be
Yeah.
part of this deal as well. But he also talks about Treasure Island and how he sold Frontier when he bought the new Frontier way back when. That was a land play because they had the land. Remember, he sold most of that, and then he went partners with Trump on the Trump Tower on the backside of that property. Did really well there. So he is expecting to sell this and then do a 1031 exchange so he can buy another property in Vegas so he doesn't have to pay tax on the gains. But again, I don't know about $5 billion. I guess if it was all developable, there are rumors, there have been over the years. I remember Bill Bennett wanted to build a casino on that Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard portion where the festival grounds is. And there was rumors that the land wasn't suitable for a big building. So we don't know how much you could develop there. But if you could, it's incredible. But also we should note that Circus Circus and that land is separated by the Hilton Grand Vacations, the Travel Lodge, other stuff. So it's not a continuous piece of strip frontage.
Yeah, and I think he's been doing really well as it being a festival grounds, and he's been making decent money off of that, and they have a lot of events there, and they seem to do well, and people like it. So I think that would be a loss if somebody buys it and develops it. Like, you don't have that space to hold a venue like that, and there's not really anything else like it on the strip anymore. So you would kind of lose that, and that would be sad as well.
And this is probably why he didn't want to have the stadium there, where he wasn't really interested in developing a stadium there because he thought the land was worth more money. I guess the other side effect of this, Mark, is that Circus Circus will probably go away if somebody buys it. They're probably not going to buy it to operate it if you're buying that land, and especially if you're paying all that money. It's not. I don't know. Nothing's worth how is it worth $5 billion? He paid the equivalent of $1 billion for Circus Circus in this land just a few years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. What was it, like 2018 or something? So we're not talking, decades or anything like that, where maybe it would make sense. And yeah, it'd be hard to pay $5 billion and then knock it down. I don't know. That seems even crazier to me. But I don't think anybody's falling in love with Circus Circus or thinking that, hey, there's room left to like squeeze more money out of it. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a tough sell. He's old. I don't even know why. Just like ride it until you die, I guess. Ride till you die.
Ride it till you die. Save our Circus Circus, Phil Ruffin. You don't need any more money. You just need to keep it alive, renovate it. I don't know. But he is a cool player. His history is certainly interesting. Parlaying Frontier into Treasure Island because MGM was in so much trouble, then eventually buying Circus Circus. No doubt it's gone up. My last point is every casino around Circus Circus is struggling right now. So this whole revolution on the north area of the Strip has not happened. Sahara renovated, they're struggling. Fontainebleau struggling. Resorts World struggling. I guess Wynn is not struggling, but yeah, it's not like this is prime and everybody is, killing themselves to be a tourist in this area of the Strip.
Yeah, I think you definitely need more investment in that area before it will get to that point. And we're seeing it, the talks of the land from the convention center being shopping and stuff. And that's what you're missing up there. If you go up there, it's kind of like a desert from going to anything outside of the casinos. There's nothing to draw you in to the area. So they definitely need to build that up around it. This would maybe help, but nobody's going to dive in at, above top market dollar if everybody else is struggling at this point.
So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. So many big stories: MGM Grand's renovation, Virgin, the strike being over, Circus Circus for sale. Do you think $5 billion is a good number? Let us know down in the comments. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple of days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
You wore your shirt in Hawaii, but you didn't get a puka necklace? Come on. Puka shells?
And my light died. So we addressed the fact that my light just shut off in the middle of the show. People have been wondering, but sorry about that.
Welcome
but I'll be
to
back
Hawaii.
to the normal place. Yeah. Bye. So what's the next Gordon Ramsay concept for Vegas?
I don't know. Maybe it'll be like a fish and chips where it's just half off because you don't go sit down versus the regular restaurant. I don't know. That was stupid.
That was terrible.